Today, we are gonna learn how to animate our logo. Obviously, you can pay for it, but I will show you how to do that with the tools you already have, in this case After Effects, without any plugin and in 5-10 minutes. Without further ado, let's do it. Where we have here our logo is a vector file. You can have a PNG transparent file. And also I have another two files, which is the background that we are going to use and the photo for the texture. I will link all the files below in case you want to practice with those files. First of all, we need to right click over the logo, new composition. So if we do that, we can swap this logo for another one and use all the work for a different logo. You only need to delete this one here in this composition and add the new one. So it's very handy. Now we create a new composition. In this case, I will do a full HD composition instead of 4K for speed purposes. I normally use 4K, but in this case, we're just going to go for HD. Now, we need to rename, and then we have to open this new composition and drag our logo to this composition. Then our texture file, and we disable this layer for now. Next, we need to apply an effect. This effect, texturize. Here, you only need to play a little bit with these values until you are happy with the result. But first of all, you need to say that you will apply to the texture file, to the second layer. So you can see the difference now. And here we are going to change to stretch texture to fit. As you see, if we play a little bit with the values, you can get different results. This is personal taste. You can just tweak it until you are happy. So next step, we apply another effect. In this case, we go to generate gradient, and we see we have a gradient now to our logo. I'm gonna swap the colors. And if you drag this point down, you will modify how the gradient behaves. You can also change the colors for the gradient. In this case, I'm trying blue. But for this tutorial, I just will go back to the neutral color. Now we need to move the gradient effect to the top of our effects. And you can see now the texture applied. We need to apply another effect, color correction, curves, and we are going to give a little bit of contrast to this effect, which in my opinion looks a bit better. You can twist it around until you are happy. So now we are going to apply our background. We just drag and drop the background to the bottom. And I think it's a little bit too big. We are going to make it smaller. Okay. Now we need to apply another effect, color correction, curves. And we are going to make this background darker, which will looks better in my opinion. You can just tweak it. You can just change the values until you are happy. You can even change the channel to the red, blue, and green and add some color as well. And then we apply a new color correction, brightness and contrast. If we click here on this stopwatch, we are going to create a keyframe. If we go down, we have here the possibility to add expressions. You don't have this. You need to click with Alt over the brightness and you will see the expressions coming up. So now you need to type wiggle 5,30 and this will create a flickering effect for our logo. Now I wanna shorten this logo because it's way too long. Let's say 10 seconds. Okay, much better like this. and you see how the flickering is looking in our logo. Okay, we are halfway. So now you make sure that you select your logo, duplicate the layer. Now we are going to rename to shadow because we are going to add some shadow. And obviously you need to delete the effects for this duplicated layer. So how we can create these shadows? It's very simple. We need to go to Effect, Blue and Sharpen, and CC Radial Fast Blur. Okay, we change to Brightness, and we are going to choose around 90 here. Okay, I'm going to disable the other layer so we can see better. And if you drag down or up this point, you will modify how the shadow behaves. In this case, I want to shadow to point down. I will add another effect, Fill, and this effect I will change the color to black. So we are going to have a black shadow which fits better our logo. Here, what you can do is animate the shadow. You click in the stopwatch, you will have a first keyframe, you can move to this side. Now you go to the end of the clip and move the point to the other side. You will have another keyframe, and now the shadow is moving with your logo. Obviously, you have a brighter background. The shadow will be more noticeable, but I think that is giving a nice touch and kind of deep sense to this animation. Now we select our logo. Now we're gonna add another effect, generate CC light sweep. We are gonna create some cool light effects. So now with this effect, as you can see, it's doing nothing now. So first of all, we need to set up our parameters for this light, and then we are going to animate it. So we move this point, we drag it to the beginning of the logo, click the stopwatch to create the keyframe. We're going to the end of our animation and move to the other side. So we are going to create this sweep effect using this light. You tweak these parameters until you are happy. And we have our reveal done. We are going to be a little bit further. We are going to add the same effect again, but in this occasion, the animation will be slightly different, so won't be at the same pace. And we are going to change the color as well. So first of all, we create the keyframes for the animation as we did before, and we are going to change the color, in this case something kind of golden. Okay, and you can see now how the effect looks like in our logo. Also, we can animate how the intensity of this second effect during the animation, so we can just keyframe the intensity from high at the beginning to 0 at the end of the clip or at the middle of the clip, wherever you want. This is personal taste. We move the effects just underneath the gradient ramp. Okay. And now we are going to do another animation as well. Now, if we click on the stopwatch and start color, we are going to start with a black color, and after 1 or 2 seconds, we are going to go to the original color, so we have a reveal of for our logo. The same we can do at the end. We keyframe our animation to go black at the end of the clip. And as you can see, we have a very nice now reveal of our logo. Then we have the light effect and the logo is gone. Now we are going to go a step further. We are going to create an adjustment layer. We add the curves effect to this adjustment layer. And we are going to animate this as well. So we keyframe here, we can do it. We can do darker here. We are going to play basically with the brightness of the logo. We are going to try to create a flickering effect for the whole thing. As you can see, we can keyframe every 1-2 seconds, make it darker or brighter, and we'll create this cool flickering effect. Now we are going to add another adjustment layer. And now what we are going to create here is an effect called CC Vignette, which basically will darken the corners and make it a little bit more interesting. We are almost there. Last step, we need to finally make the whole thing moving. So we create a new null object. Now we select our logo, shadow, and background, and we parent these 3 layers with the null object. Perfect. As you can see, they are parent to the null object right now. We just open the scale and the rotation with R and Shift S, and we are going to keyframe this null object. So basically, we are going to the beginning of the clip, click on stopwatch, and we are going to change the rotation to 12. Okay, this will rotate our logo. So as you can see, maybe you need to adjust the background, make it a little bit smaller so you won't have any blank corner over there. And now we're going to the end of the clip. We go back to the null object and we create another keyframe, in this case -12. And we are going to change the size, the scale as well. So the logo will shrink. Also, we need to adjust the background and make it a little bit bigger. Otherwise, we'll have these blank corners. And now we have our logo animated completely. We have a rotation, a change of the scale, and all the effects that we applied before. Now, we only need to render the file and export it to our preferred format. So in order to do this, we only need to go File, Export, Add to the render queue. We click here to set up some settings. In this case, the format. I would choose Apple ProRes 422HQ, hit OK again, and then you can choose the name and the location for your output file. You need to click on render, and you need to wait a little bit, and you will have your end result. Well, that's it, guys. We have our logo. I think that looks pretty cool. Looks like almost we paid for it. I hope you like it. If so, please subscribe, hit the like, and enable the bell so you will get notification next time that I'm uploaded the video. If you don't enable the bell, you will miss it. Also, I would like to hear from you. Leave some comments. Let me know if you like this video. And as you know, I read and respond all the comments. Thank you very much, guys. Again, see you next time.